Hey, Legion. So, did you see this coming?
How could I possibly see any of this coming? This entire banner completely blindsided me, and I knew that Rhea was going to be a dragon, by the way, just saying.
Wait, I thought you said she was going to be a mage.
Oh, I didn't. I said she wasn't going to be a mage.
The heck? Who said she was going to be a mage?
I said it was going to be a full dragon banner.
Somebody said she was going to be a mage. Because it made sense, right? Because she's a witch. But now she's a dragon witch.
Yeah, it's not really saying too much. If anything, the only thing that surprised me is that there's still a mage on the banner, technically. Thanks, Sophia.
Oh, yeah.
So that surprised me.
Also, completely did not expect Sophia. That came out of nowhere.
Makes sense, but it wasn't my first thought.
Yeah. They were going to choose someone with dragon connections.
How are you saying it makes sense?
Sophia is a half dragon.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So why this banner?
Because it's a dragon banner?
Yeah, and it's a big part of her character.
I said from the beginning, it doesn't matter how many games it fits in. All that matters now is that it's a dragon banner.
Yeah.
I mean, my first option was obviously Nazir from Tellius, but I was not discounting the opportunity that it could be a dragon from a different game.
I will obey.
Well,
even if it's half one.
It's just not very exciting, unfortunately. Oh wait, you guys can hear my I need to shut it off. Wait. Alright, there you go.
Sophia has her fans, and this is her first alt.
So I know she has her fans because her fans spoiled me.
Yeah, someone on YouTube decided to be clever.
Wait, this is actually a copy of last year Halloween. A robin, a Telius
Everything's been spoiled except for one thing.
And there's still a mage on this banner. It just happens to switch with the freedom. In fact, if anything, you could technically say the Zane and Enna of last year swap places.
Guys, you know that's pretty crazy how similar the banners are. I can't get over that.
They're supposed to be parallels. It just very funny parallels.
Okay, I'm just realizing I made a little prediction with a friend on this. I got every color right. I didn't get every unit type right, but
yeah. I mean, I guess I wouldn't have expected green Rhea. I guess that was the only thing that I wouldn't have predicted. But everything else,
I somehow predicted that. Yeah, just not gonna draw.
Then again, I guess I'm a pessimist with color sharing.
Well,
so,
yeah, there's that.
Well, at least none of you guys are saying dumb things like, I predict it's gonna be Rhea. Sothis, you guys saw Radiant Machination's dumb message yesterday. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's so funny. Jeez.
How did we have two dragon-themed banners and not have Karen?
Forehead.
She has a Halloween costume in Cypher,
because this is what happened with Fallen Banner.
You know, I'm all for it with you guys. Remember when I did my my stream thumbnail a while ago when it came to the leaks? I used Corrin because, like about everybody else, I've been waiting for Corrin. I don't understand why we're just delaying it at this point.
It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
I know,
and
but
if anything, they're just knocking the Robins out and then doing the Corrins.
It's just perfect. The problem is it's just perfect for this to happen. Instead, they decided to like make such a similar banner back to back. It's weird.
I don't mind the banners being parallels with each other. I mean, that's basically how Fallen banners are. They have a lot of parallels.
To put things in perspective, guys, do you guys know that meme's just like, hey, can I copy your homework? And then they just don't make it too similar. That's exactly what this feels like to me. It's kind of silly.
I'm still up for it though.
I don't have a problem with it.
Well, I like Sothis. I think she's just so cute, and I love the new Byleth look. And of course, I just like Sothis in general. I really want a Christmas Sothis as well. So yeah, I might. It's just, oh man, I don't even know where I would deploy her, but she's interesting and I like her. Yeah, well, everywhere not serious, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, technically there is an argument that she could be used in defense. It'd be a little interesting to try.
I mean, I have a +10 Mythic Sothis. And
we'll see, that's the problem.
It's the same thing as one more.
And I could tell you, being flying doesn't help there. I can tell you there are some real clear flaws. Either way.
Yes.
Either way, I actually think the most important hero here might actually be Kurthnaga. Because a demoted hero with his stat spread, he really makes me feel bad for Enna. Because
I feel
45
bad for him
HP.
because he's going to get killed off every single time he gets summoned.
See, if he can include the Dragonflower gap, he just has more attack and speed and less bulk than Enna. Basically an even trade-off.
I like
Yeah,
how you just assume Dragon Flowers is that easy, and he scores way
If you're
better.
making a merge project, then it is.
He scores
Two
way better, and
defensive-
you don't have to do plus speed.
But you also have to summon him in Red Pool.
Yeah.
11
And we
times.
don't know what his... Well, he's going to score 185 anyway, so boons don't matter, but still.
You still have to summon him 11 times, and as somebody who does not have the orb, it still takes a few hundred orbs to summon that many copies of Kurthnaga.
I know, but Enna can never catch up in terms of scoring, and he's a much more ideal hero to have long term.
You can't, but on the other hand, other Tempest units will eventually come out with the same, or if not higher scoring, that are just more inevitable projects. Or on the other hand, it'll just be other demotes that'll happen that you can just summon for on a Sparkable banner.
I like
For
how you
example.
say that, but let's think about it. Guys, who's the best scoring free-to-play Grail red hero right now?
It is Enna.
Exactly, and when was Enna?
Last year.
Exactly. So when you're saying, oh, it's bound to happen, we're literally a year away from that moment, and nothing has replaced Enna in all this time.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing saying nothing can't, either.
I know, but I'm
I
saying you
just doesn't
shouldn't.
mind breaking patterns.
There's
Now, don't
one
get me
thing
wrong.
Sophia
Either way, I
says
do
over the
expect...
others. She can use dive
Yeah,
bomb.
that dive bomb is actually a really big point.
I know,
Make
but I
sure-
actually really like her B slot. Her B slot makes so much sense because she's like, it's meant for fast dragons. Now, it
Yeah.
can't be used offensively, but it's meant for fast dragon. It makes so much sense.
Perfect. Like, it is pretty much designed for a unit like Sothis. It's a
Yeah.
great B-slot for a variety of units that are more so either fast or one-shot heavy.
The one slow dragon that could work well on would be Moosebell. He just gets a free sort of glimmer effect. Brave Dimitri, or sorry, Fallen Dimitri's effect.
Yeah, you can make the argument to use it on Moosebell, just to full-on dump into killing on the one hit.
Wait, isn't it only defensive?
Yeah, it's only in the enemy phase, though Moosebell initiations would only really be used in offensive, defense, ether raids.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah, if you're using them in ether raids defense, then sure, but some people actually use Moosebell in offense.
Or, just in-game stuff.
because if he
Yeah.
attacks, it just does nothing, and I think that could just be detrimental. I would rather take Dragon Ball in a situation like that.
Yeah, that is absolutely fair. I just know that some people actually do run Moosebell for offensive purposes, as sort of a support unit for a main carry, but Moosebell himself could take an enemy phase pretty well off that, assuming
Yeah.
he can get the one-shot, so... things that are worth considering. And other than fast dragons, I could see, like, steady breath dragons, for example, with a one-shot bonfire incline being pretty good, because they get some small damage reduction, and they try to ensure their one-shot as hard as possible. Just potential thing to consider there.
All right. Anyways, I guess let's start
Guys,
going. Yeah.
Don't tell Chibi that Sothis can't use Surge Sparrow when she clearly can. Please.
Yeah, I know. The confusing thing was I thought dragons couldn't use it, but
No,
it's just ranged.
Just ranged can.
Yeah, being totally honest, I definitely didn't just have to double take that. Definitely didn't.
Okay, maybe I'm being a little too harsh on EA and Andre, but
Because I'm thinking of slow refresh. That's what I'm thinking of. For
Yeah, no.
restrictions. Yeah,
So this is
I can see
just
that
a
working
thought.
then.
What about Legendary Garden if you charge her special with team support? Nim gasp.
Yeah,
That could work.
that would really open her up because the one thing about Corrin is removing shield pulse makes her kind of awkward.
I mean, yeah, though she does also really appreciate no follow-up. If you're using Corrin as a DC tank, this is actually pretty good then. Yeah, actually, that would work. So, if you're not running a no follow-up Corrin for generalist purposes, then this is also probably good for her. You'd have to run time spells and then some false support, but whatever.
I'm gonna use flags, chat. I grid. Grid's probably losing, but I'm gonna commit.
So is Leaf. Oh well. I'll
It's so
take
sad.
okay last round.
If Team Agren loses, can everyone on Team Agren agree to join Team Virion?
I'm
No.
probably gonna join Team Varian if I lose.
I would rather like you than join Team Varian.
Oh, okay. So that means it's going to be really easy for you to join Team Virion.
What? I don't like you. You're the worst. We'll find you and poop on your pillow. All right. Anyways, guys, let's go over the heroes because
Ooh,
it's
scary.
about enough time there.
All right.
First hero first. Grima. Is he an improvement on last year's Halloween Grima?
He has a more meta relevant role to fill.
There's no DC. That's the problem.
No,
But he doesn't
that
need it.
doesn't
He's
matter.
meant to be a melee
Yeah.
gear save tank, and he does that extremely well.
Yeah. I
think
agree.
his meta role is way. Yeah, you lose DC, but honestly, I'd rather take a more, something that's more usable in today's meta than something that is just overall really solid in general. Considering Halloween Grima, we see how not common she is.
So here's the
What
nah,
sucks
all
is
special
that
heroes
we
are kind of
won't
hard.
have a cute Rhea
Yeah.
Sothis TT conversation because we are continuing Niffle and Moose Bells BS.
Oh,
This is the last part.
Bobby Medina, thank you so much for your generous donations, man. If I haven't thanked you, no, but thank you so much.
That's a good point.
But it's a very good point. Honestly, guys, I was so excited for the Fire and Ice Tempest Trial series, and then they did very little with it. It's still continuing. I feel like they could have cut it down. It didn't feel like that much was happening,
I
Yeah.
mean, I guess in fairness to them, if they put Moose Bell out a month later, would have been awkward given the banner releases at Moose Bell's time.
Well, it was already awkward story-wise, because it's just like, I'm going to set up Legger in a fight, and then all of a sudden he just cock blocks her and fights you instead. It was kind of weird.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming next one's gonna be Leg Yarn. Four-parter.
But don't you think
With
he
the
should have been the
dragon.
final
Yeah.
boss? It was weird.
You would think, but then again, why did we fight Niffle in the first place? Both kind of feel a little, they're just
So
kind of there.
Placeholders, it seems like.
Yeah.
That's why it's unfortunate, because I really felt like there was some meaning to all of this, and it ended up not really being that meaningful.
A Fae in a nutshell.
All right. Anyways, about Grima. So, just like the last breath, still 30% healing when special triggers, and still just that entire idea of one cooldown special is to constantly heal. Really nice combination,
Another
obviously.
thing of note is that last year's Grima lost her flying weakness
Well, that's the
while
thing when
male
you have a
Grima
perf
still
skill.
has armor weakness.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I really liked the last year's Grima. She had a perf skill, and that perf skill was amazing. It did like everything.
Yeah, I won't argue with that. Dragon Scale is amazing. Although that's just the thing, female Grima has an extra perf skill for some reason, and male Grima never did.
Mm-hmm.
So at least they're keeping the consistency there. Like, these are basically just parallels of their original selves, just way, way more meta relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And in the case of female Grima, just a dramatic shift of stats in order to make her meta relevant.
Right.
And I mean now I know regular legendary Grima is still really good, but
Yeah. Well, now. She was
now,
not.
yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, no. You lose that, but you do still get 33, which is not bad.
Right. So it's interesting because he has more weaknesses. He's a double weakness hero versus a single weakness hero. While he's much more, he's gonna have higher defensive stats. In effect, because I've seen some really good Halloween Grimas before, they don't really lose HP as long as they survive. They're pretty much good to go. Is from my experience with it all. So, and because she's flying, rain skills actually work out really well. And does she come with Dragon's Ire?
Comes with,
Yes.
she's the original one to have Ire.
Yeah, so as a whole, it's just like such an impressive hero. So it's a hard shoe to follow up on, and it's not gonna be directly. So basically, it comes down to: do you need to have a savior hero? If so, then yes, of course he's gonna do really well here. He's basically kitted out perfectly to be a savior hero. But if you wanted just like a general tank to like tank the entire enemy team, I thought Grima did that like pretty well last year.
She's designed to be the one that tanks everything. Not to say that a DC male Grima can't, with Crafty Fighter probably, because Slick Fighter versus Crafty, I mean, losing penalty immunity isn't exactly the end of the world. It's just that he's not meant to be that way. You could, but it's not his primary motion.
Mhm.
And the more I look at him, the more I
Grima
see
had
him
Moonless
as...
breath so made since it healed HP like Sol does.
Yep.
Grima has Moonstruck
Well, on the other
breath,
hand, he does at
but he
least
isn't
get
doing
attack,
anything
unlike
Rena
female
related with his
Grima,
weapon
and slang.
well.
Which, if I'm being totally honest, you're going to switch to a Steady Breath Bonfire build, most likely.
Yeah.
Which
most
does
the
kind of
time.
end up being offensive by nature. Just
Yeah,
like-
it's just a bit weird, but I get it. Like, for most people, he's gonna have enough attack where he doesn't need a special to get kill. But for the serious modes, yeah, you're gonna need to be more offensive than that.
You're absolutely going to need everything. Speaking from experience, you will want all the attack you can get when using a near save unit.
Hmm.
If anything, I
was-
would actually argue that your attack is more important than your defense in some cases.
Mhm.
All right, but at the very least, he is incredible fodder. You can either take near save, AR near save, which by the way is not my favorite because fighting dragons is kind of rare in general, or
Yeah,
you
you
could.
got it in there. Mhm.
Yeah, or you could take Sturdy Stance X Slick Fighter, but whatever you take off of him makes an armored hero into an incredible hero, so.
Yep, no disputing that. Fodder is amazing.
Mhm.
I would personally rather use him because all the fodder is there, and being totally honest, there aren't many. I guess Surtur would be the only unit that comes to mind. I'd fodder near save 2 on a whim, but unless you're making like a +10 Benny, for example, I think that is better just to keep Grima, but that's just me.
Hmm.
Especially
And-
since he's colorless, which is huge for saviors.
Yeah, and the more I look at Grima, the more I think of him as being obviously very different stats, but he has kind of that healing effect like Berserker mods from Base Hector and Valentine Hector. The same sort of heal up playstyle, like they'd want Bonfire, Steady Breath, but he's just much more min-max than they are, and he makes
Yeah.
use of his stats in a different way.
You know what I just thought of? Do you guys realize how obnoxious it would be if you did Fallen Grima X Fallen Edelgard with Far Save on Edelgard and Near Save? That would be
And then
double
you run
armor
Light Season.
tanks. Yeah?
Yeah, you run that in Light Season with Milla, and then, if you're really feeling it, Moosepell as well. Or Niffle, I guess, but Moosepell. Mm,
Yeah, it would be so obnoxious. Holy crud.
Yeah. That's the scare of a near save dragon.
All right, but yeah, I honestly think he's gonna be a really good hero. I can't wait to see his stats. He's gonna be even more min-max. He's gonna be even higher BST. This might be the. I'm most interested in seeing how he compares to Spring Adune, who I still think is such a goddess, such a
Yeah.
still stupidly good hero. But yeah,
She
that's
is.
what I'm gonna want to see.
Though I will say this, the one thing she really has going for her right now is her armor effective. Think about it this way. Penalty immunity is acquired through Slick Fighter, and Adune's breath only, I believe it's defense +3, isn't it? And then it only gives her attack -6 on her foe, if I remember correctly. It doesn't even give her attack.
No,
So-
it just gives attack -6 on the foe.
Yeah, so it's completely bulk oriented and also has no slaying. So Idun is amazing, absolutely. But I think especially because she's red, which can come to be annoying, I think male Grima might have her beat just inherently. But that's me.
Idun's breath gives her aren't effective, res +3.
Oh.
If she's got a bonus, or if she's within
Stop
2 spaces of an
creating
ally,
cancer.
neutralizes penalties and attack -6 on foe, and foe can't double.
Yeah. So I think Idun is definitely great, but I think male Grima might beat her out.
I'd
I
say
personally
definitely, yeah. Especially
But-
with the more modern stat line.
Yeah,
And color.
we'll see.
She is
We'll
pretty
see with that.
old. But again,
Yeah.
the ability to deny doubles is actually pretty valuable. And if you can use her dual skill, it's actually really useful
if you
because
get her
it takes
dual
away
skill.
all weaknesses.
Okay, if we give this Grima Dragon's
No.
Wrath instead, isn't it busted?
See, here's the thing. Well, okay.
He's gonna get hit twice, that's the thing.
Well, here's the thing, because this is exactly what I was arguing. If you could just one-shot, technically, yes, it is better, because you're getting some damage reduction and going all in on a one-shot with an instant bonfire with breath.
But if you can't,
Technically, it's a gamble that could actually have better dividends, but it's not a gamble I personally like taking, so I'd rather just stick to Slick Fire.
it
just
feels
for
like
the-
one-shotting is just such a big gamble in the meta today,
Yeah.
especially if you're facing really in high tiers of ether raids using it as a save ball, it's just one-shotting is going to be tough.
However, in non-HP inflated modes, mostly arena, if you do have the option to use Dragon's Wrath for whatever reason, then I think that's actually a perfectly fine option. Just dump into one-shots. It can actually work out pretty well.
I'd rather keep his base kit because it's the cheapest, and honestly, I don't think it's that big of a difference maker.
Yeah, but I know that some people are going to try it, especially the people that have the opportunity to plus 10 Grima. They have most likely the fodder to do that.
Guys, remember, he keeps healing, so he's never going to find himself out. Like, he's not going to get one-shotted. Even with Falchion, I highly doubt it. And then he's going to heal back up. So, it's fine, honestly.
I mean, if you really feel like it, you just run Soul on him, and he's pretty much healing to full every time he gets to throw up a special with Steady Breath, because Steady Breath Seal is amazing. So, I'll just say right now, Steady Breath Grima with either Soul or Bonfire, and there is no way he's not either going to kill or survive just about anything.
Yeah, with Bonfire, he's basically the same idea as Fallen Guard, defensively anyways.
I mean,
that would mean, like, unless you're running if you're running even like a Dragon Effector user, like let's say Crom or Lucina with Sealed Falchion, you wouldn't be able to double them, but if you can one-shot them, it could be running damage.
It depends if they have speed damage reduction, but that's what it comes down to.
Pretty much, but it's there. It's absolutely there. Yeah, no, I actually am quite interested in him as a Drain Tank. He's really just at odds with, like, what do you think is better? Healing Tank or Gustav and Surtur's 75% damage reduction on first hit? That's the question, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not that interested in Savior Heroes.
Yeah. It's just the general thing to posit. Which of those two ideas is better?
I find Savior is very useful, but that's just my style.
I know. You've developed a taste for glue. All right, moving on, guys. For Rhea, when it comes to the thickest girls in the entire game, I talked about this earlier in the day. I have Freya at first. I have Loki at third. At second, I had who was it? Sonya, I think. Nino's mom.
Yeah.
I thought those three were the thickest. But yeah, this new Rhea especially, this dress is hiding nothing at all. Even though this dress is not revealing at all, it is also not hiding anything at all.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the thing with Rhea. You can give her the most modest attire, and she'll still find a way to make it look very, I don't know, form-fitting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I love this look. It's so fitting for her. She reminds me of so many different characters, to be honest. But yeah, I love this look on her. And as a green infantry dragon, she's actually quite amazing.
Yeah, no kidding. By the way, her artist did Tatiana previously. Fun fact.
Okay, so that's why it has that kind of soft style, which I actually like a lot.
Yeah. So this is essentially green Saros for no particular correlation.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
None whatsoever. Yeah, I wonder why, man. It's almost like they have some connection.
So when she attacks, she gets a double and attack +6, and when she gets attacked, she only gets one time, but attack -6 on your foe. It's the same idea. She also has Iceberg.
Not how that is.
Well, doesn't she get defense res +6?
Oh yeah, that's what Saros gets, but this one can get both at the same time.
At start of combat.
Mm-hmm.
If foe's HP is over 50%, attack +6 double. If unity,
it's effectively the same. And,
so basically, it's the same thing as Saros, but instead of guaranteeing one per phase, it's guaranteeing both potentially based on the HP of yourself and your foe.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what Divine Tearfang does with its follow-up and stats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Divine Tearfang is kind of a direct parallel because for the first part of it, units
It's
HP over 50%.
Wait, so the
And then second
Serios
part
is
is
Breaker
foes HP.
straight
But
up?
the
Wait, Breaker?
Yeah, basically, as long as you and your foe are both healthy, you double, they can't, which is the essentials of Breaker.
I guess Breaker
that's
has a
what you mean.
50% threshold actually too. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, as long as Rhea's healthy and your foe is healthy, you get attack def res +6, You double, they can't. Which
As
is
long as you're both in breaker range.
really good. Really good.
So she's kind of better. It depends. I think her kit is overall stronger and better independently. Attack Res Unity, Dragon Wall just makes a lot more sense than, say, using... I mean, she doesn't need Impact anymore, so that's why.
She doesn't need Impact, that's why.
Yeah, I think this Rhea is better. It's just that Saros is going to be more common because she's used, in Ether Range
Yeah,
from that bonus
Saros
slot
you
all the
can't.
time.
Saros is a 7 slot mythic. You can't.
Yeah, that's just her utility. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the same situation we had with Freya, despite the fact that Summer Freya has a clear edge. She doesn't have Disencounter, but she has a clear edge up close where it matters the most. Pretty sure more people are going to use Mythic Freya just because she's a Mythic hero, so same idea here.
Yeah, Mythics, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the unit can't be used. I mean, I've seen some actually terrifying Summer Freyas in defense. Nothing scares me more than actually seeing her kill my Vector.
Guys, I want to be clear. I'm really happy she's green. If you think about it, red offensive dragons, you at least had Sothis, and in her heyday, she was one of the best when it came to like sustainability, damage output, and having that speed. For blue heroes, I mean, we had Saros definitely, but when you came to green heroes, who was the scariest offensive green dragon?
If we're specifically talking infantry, especially,
like what, Drift Corin or something? Like, come on, where are we going with this?
Yeah, there's literally 3: a Drift, female Corin, female Kana, and Fae.
Yeah, so this is actually pretty important for her to be green because everything else added that offensive dragon. But yeah, this was a clear area. So
green dragons are super unsaturated for
and most of them are very defensive. Like you've got Nagi, Winterfey,
and
Robin.
Just saying, while Fae is an amazing support bot, Kana's kind of just teetering the edge, and until Corin gets her refined, she's not even that good right now. So this is the only like overall meta relevant dream.
I guess it's true. Christmas Sothis is like also really good on both phases, but when you're armor, it's really rough to establish that. That's the reason why a lot of people end up using Savior on Christmas Sothis, and she essentially works out to be the same idea as the Grimas, get hit, heal up, deal damage. But yeah, the problem is when you're armor heroes, you really can't push the pace because you move like molasses. So
yeah, and Winter Sothis is a bit out of date inherently. Not too bad.
She's not out of date. You're out of date.
Yeah.
Yes, the Sempery returns.
Next is stupid.
Well, I have a Winter Sothis. I use her in all my PvE stuff. So I still like her.
Thank you for the 24 PHP. What's a PHP?
That is
PHP. Hypertext preprocessor. What? But thank you so much. I appreciate it. I just don't know what currency it is. But thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you from the Philippines.
Oh, Filipino
pet. I was thinking it must be peso, but it's not the Mexican one.
I think the world's eyes are on the Philippines right now because Manny Pacquiao decided to retire and now is running for president. It's pretty exciting when a celebrity runs for president. The last time someone a celebrity won as president was
that person.
Exciting, huh?
Yeah, interesting.
Okay, well, to be clear, since Manny grew up from straight up nothing and then had to work and crawl his way up to where he was, he's also incredibly humble. I would trust a country's future more to him. And the thing is, he actually is a politician already, so it's not like he's coming from nothing.
Well, I trust someone like that more so than the guy they've got currently in charge.
Yeah, that's
anyway, that person gave you about $50.
So Rhea,
you actually looked it up. I didn't even. Okay, sure, thanks. It doesn't matter. I just appreciate the fact that I got.
Well, I just was curious, so I checked.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that Twitch shows the foreign currencies. It's always interesting.
Well, I just feel bad because she's missing a unique skill, like a C-slot skill. Not that Rhea's C-slot skill, which, by the way, Rhea X Odor was actually it's actually like a great combination when you think about it.
Oh, yeah. I am going to use that. In fact, I'm going to switch my defense after this to do that.
All right. But yeah,
No
it's unfortunate she's
personal
missing the
skill.
C slot.
Yeah.
But as always, she's infantry, so you can times pulse her, you can give her smokes, you can give her menace, you can do whatever you want.
Pretty
You
much.
could run DC if you wanted.
Yeah, she's absolutely viable for DC. Considering she doesn't need QR, Dragon Wall is perfect for a DC build. So that's interesting.
Or you
Please
give
don't
her,
give her Dragon's Ire.
or you can give her attack defense form and just make her really obnoxious to deal with.
Oh yeah, you could just make her
Yeah,
into a
just-
total tank.
Without
I
the
mean,
seal, yeah.
Nothing saying you can't just use her, for example, in defense. Or I guess you could use her in offense as a tank carry, or potentially a half tank carry along with a savior, near or far. So that's interesting to think about as well.
Mhm.
Like, she is basically one of the most flexible dragons right now, in my opinion.
Yes.
It literally is just what do you want her to do, offensively or defensively, in any mode.
But you want to know something?
Yeah.
Just like Grima, she's excellent fodder. Moving on.
Second unit is always designed to be the most concise fodder, and this is easy fodder, if you want it.
Yeah. You know the reason why I brought up foddering her? Not that I want to fodder her. I actually like this Rhea a lot. Look at her goofy little hat on her dragon head. It's so dumb looking. But it's this hero. What would be really good on Kurthnaga?
Besides distant counter?
Yeah, if you,
Dragon Wall.
because I think attack resonating dragon wall on him is actually kind of stupendously good with him.
It's really good on any dragon.
Yeah, I know, but it's just when they happen to be on the same banner. I think a plus 10
yeah.
Kurthnaga would be real interesting.
I'll just be totally honest, I expect him to get foddered a lot, though.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know.
Very often.
Wait,
will do that if
who
I
would
get
you
him.
even fodder him to, guys?
That's the question.
Literally any dragon
Because
that doesn't have a
Phantom Breath
perf.
is
It's good.
ridiculous. I don't know how that's an inheritable weapon. But there aren't too many dragons right now that are needing an inheritable.
Yeah, that's what I
Right.
gotta say, because
You,
most
well,
of
you
them already
could,
had
you
one.
could give it to Anna. It'd be kind of funny. I know it
Oh,
sounds weird, but
I mean,
yeah,
you can.
actually, Edda would love this. But
Plus 10 Enna's already are. There's so many
yeah,
plus
if
10
you
Enna.
already have a plus 10 Anna, that's when you give it to her. Yeah.
'Cause
You
the
don't
funny
just
thing-
like
Hmm?
decide to get it for
Yeah?
base.
it would have been great on Kana, but Kana just got us refined.
Yeah, that
Though I would argue this is almost as well. Actually, depending on how you value healing or guard, this might actually even be better.
and some extra stats because
Yeah,
Kana.
some extra speed. So
Yeah, and Kana
Right.
does almost have a speed stat at base 33. So
Right. So it's
Yeah.
mostly the slower dragons I would prefer this, but I think this is like a S tier inheritable
This is-
weapon, just like the Bloom series of tomes.
Mhm.
It's just so stupendously good, and the Science series of tomes as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's like to that degree of where I can say, I don't care if this hero never gets a perf. I am more than happy to keep this weapon.
Yeah, no, literally. I don't even care. Most dragons right now that don't have perfs, this breath is fine. Like, literally, I could just go
Good
on
for the
any
memes,
dragon.
And because Tegenzi
Give this
is
to them.
coming back, just fodder the breaths
Oh.
between each other.
You know, that was really stupid last year. It was such a small difference between Enna's breath and Sia's breath. Obviously, his was better because you get more defensive stats overall, right? Because it was attack -5, not defense +5.
Yeah.
But it
Though
was
it
like
doesn't
such a
work
minor
great.
thing.
That's the other thing, though. It doesn't work with Savior. So if you're using a dragon armor, that's the problem.
Yeah. Not that. Wait, Saber Skills wasn't a thing when on his release, was it?
No, it wasn't. So it was at the time depressing, but Pale Breath got its time in the shine soon after.
All right.
But,
Aside from
yeah.
all that, the most pressing thing is Dragon EXP 3 is finally in the game.
Woo!
Hooray!
wow,
I think.
Uh,
I'm excited.
I mean, I don't know if I've ever used the XP skills.
I'm
They're
legitimately
so bad.
confused how it took 4.5 years for this to come to the game. It's not like we never had dragons. We had dragons since the start.
Lance experience didn't come out until Spring Darshan.
I completely forgot about this. And considering EXP skills could even be on 4-star demotes, like, I mean, this is a 4-star demotes, but I mean like common ones, the normal pool.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, to be fair, they don't usually like to double dip them, but I think this is the last one. No, I think this is just the last one. I don't think there are any more EXP or Valor skills left to get. I think. So, finally it's over, but yeah, little silly.
I think he'll be a demo. He is a demo. The end of the screen confirmed it. All right.
I'll make you say that. Yeah.
With that said, though, yeah, very easy to build. He's going to be a slow dragon. We have his stats. His stats is actually quite immaculate. Again, his ability to reach 185. And when you think about it, like, he's really stupendously ideal for the current meta, and he's for a whale wouldn't be very difficult to plus 10.
Not at all. Like, if you do not have plus 10 Enna, if you already have plus 10 Enna, don't. I'm just gonna say right now, don't. It's too much for too little, in my opinion. But if you don't have her plus 10, then this is not a half-bad consideration. If you have the orbs to commit to it.
This guy, effectively, without even refining his weapon, has over 40 defense and 40 res. Once you give him an A skill, once you refine his breath, once you give him a seal, it just gets snowballs from there. He can easily find himself over 50 defense, 50 res. So easily.
I think it's his attack that's more impressive because he has base 39. So he already hits up to 58 just with Lantern Breath.
Mm.
Whereas Enna only has base 36. And he might have an attack super boon. So, maybe.
And the other thing is,
We're lucky.
it's really rare to get a cute boy emote that's like worthy of committing to. The last one we got was, I don't know, I don't really consider Caspar worthy of committing to. The last one in my books anyways would be Young Marth. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really can't think of anybody else. It was,
I mean,
I think the closest was Caspar, but outside of that was Young Marth definitely. It's just rare to have a situation like this.
I don't track that kind of metric, so I guess that's why I wouldn't know either.
The only other hero that I think is worthy of committing to, but not as big of a difference maker, was Young Leon.
In the past year, yeah.
When it can, my entire point is like when it comes to male heroes that are cute, like this isn't about preferences or anything, because to a certain degree it feels like IS just ignores like what girls could want in this game, and it shouldn't surprise anybody. We've had all female banners this year as well. It's just most people playing this game are guys at this point. But yeah, it's a pretty good balance because we haven't had these kind of units are kind of rare. So that's why I'm really happy about Kurthnaga. I definitely think he deserves some kind of attention at least.
Okay, hear me out. Go for plus speed. Give him swift
No.
Sparrow through.
Yeah, he has.
No.
Use weapon for speed and give him
Technically,
swift Sparrow
Kurthnaga
through.
has the same
Happen.
speed as a plus speed Enna. It totally wasn't intentional or anything.
I don't think plus speed Enna was ever good. You just do that because you're forced to.
Well, yes, but I've actually had some troubles with plus speed Ennas before. Mid-tier speed wars can be annoying in Arena.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least they can be useful in Arena. Yeah.
Guys, the reason why I separate Young Leon is because he doesn't score well, but he's still a really good unit.
Yeah. Which thus warrants him as a plus 10 project. Incentives even more for Ether raids.
Yeah, but this Kurthnaga would be good in everything as long as you're in control of him anyways.
Yeah. I absolutely see an argument to be made to have Kurthnaga as a project at this point. But I just don't want to. If I get more duplicates of him, I'm just going to hold on to his breath until I can find a dragon that wants it, because it's amazing. And honestly, even Pulse Tie actually has some serious Ether raids use. So
That's
I
my
wouldn't
plan.
mind. Like, even can't diss on even Pulse Tie. It is literally one of the most valuable skills in Ether Raid's offense, in my opinion. Because with the advent of instant specials, you can pulse down after a safe defense turn and stop those kinds of units from wreaking havoc, which is great.